just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, Pacific people must never become climate change refugees, says United Nations Special Envoy on Climate Change. Policy change to see Education Ministry giving bus vouchers to students who are not within walking distance to school. And Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare impressed with Fiji Broadcasting Corporation setup. We need to prepare for masses of people leaving their island homes to find new places to settle due to climate change. Leaders from some of the worst affected nations spoke out today about the despairing future of hundreds of thousands of lives in the Pacific.
According to this panel, discussions on climate change have ignored the migration of Pacific Islanders, even as the world wakes up to the reality of climate refugees.
We are dealing here with the lives of the people, the human beings. So we must make sure the conference in Paris would also take that into account. It's not about saving economies. It's not about proving science.
Let's not wait for the time when we have to move, because we know this is inevitable. And so let's begin the process now. And it's a long process. It's going to take a long time.
United Nations Special Envoy on Climate Change, Ambassador Mary Robinson, has recognized that the issue is about more than the environment.
Climate change was undermining human rights, was really affecting people in a way that had to be taken account of. And I wasn't hearing this in discussions. Climate change was about glaciers and polar bears.
Kiribati President Anote Tong says Pacific people must not become refugees. Any international migration must have agreed principles.
Whatever happens, we want to be able to build up at least some of our islands so that our islands, our country, will never disappear.
There's a double injustice. The injustice that the impacts of climate change are felt more by the poorest countries and poorest communities, and the fact that they are the least responsible.
Fiji has already offered land to Kiribati in the extreme circumstance that its atolls become submerged by rising sea levels. However, that's a last resort. What leaders and Pacific Islanders want is solutions to save their island homes.
Edwin Nunn joins us live now for more on this story. Edwin, it's emerging that these Pacific Island leaders accept their fate in terms of rising sea level, but still carry some hope.
Floating islands, should any such technology present itself in the future. What he wants the world to know basically is that despite the effects of climate change and whatever lengths we may need to go to, no nation should disappear under rising seas. If I were to quickly paraphrase what the Kiribati President Anote Tong said earlier today at the PIDF summit, he basically sent out a message that countries like Marshall Islands, Kiribati, should not disappear under rising sea levels, and that come what may, at the end of the day, these countries, or at least some remnants of these countries, should be allowed to exist when all is said and done, and we have, at the end of the day, overcome climate change. Back to you, Jackie.
Thanks for that update, Edwin. Another student who inflicted harm on himself earlier this week died at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital earlier today. Police spokesperson Athanaisa Sokamori confirmed the student's death, saying other details are still being gathered. The primary school student was one of three friends, aged 13 and 14, who tried to harm themselves at Vatuanga Suva on Monday night. Initial reports said the student feared failing their internal exams. Authorities are investigating the circumstances that led to the student's actions. Another student, 13-year-old Ayush Kumar, who was with his two friends, died of self-inflicted wounds at CWM Hospital on Tuesday morning. A third student is admitted in hospital. A new criteria has been announced for transport assistance or bus fare vouchers for all students who are eligible from 2016. The Education Ministry will only subsidise students who are not within walking distance of their school. In a circular last week, Acting Permanent Secretary Josefa Sania informed schools of the new criteria. Only pupils schooling within their zones but still too far to walk will receive vouchers.
The overall objective of the circular is to curb abuse of bus fare vouchers that have been given out to assist the needy children. This is government's initiative to assist children who are not able to come to school just because they are not able to afford to pay for bus fares.
The circular states that from 2016, only students attending schools within the first stage of the LTA prescribed stages will be provided transport assistance vouchers. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says the primary reason for this is some parents are trying to send their children to schools other than the one nearest to their home and are asking for subsidies.
We are saying that, look, if there's a school closer to your home, then as far as we are concerned, if you choose to send your children to some other school, we will only give you for stage 1. You fund it yourself, the remaining.
The ministry also found students living within walking distance of their schools selling off bus vouchers.
If a child has to go to a school which requires more than one stage fare, the child will be eligible for the full fare. All those children who are eligible to access this particular scheme, they will be given full fare to go to their nearest school, whether it's stage 1 or stage 2.
The new criteria comes into effect with the start of Term 1 in 2016. Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare made a special visit to the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation in Suva today. Sogavare, who is also Minister for Broadcast, says his government is looking at developing the media in the Solomon Islands. Ali Kimbia has more.
The Solomon Islands government delegation was led by Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare.
We visited all the studios and the facilities there. It was just amazing, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Sogavare says, judging from what he saw, Fiji is way ahead in the Pacific in terms of media setup and technology.
Fiji has gone a long way in advance in this matter, and that's the way to go. Countries that in Solomon Islands can learn a lot from, and in the experience that Fiji has had, and we can improve on that.
The Prime Minister was particularly interested in the establishment of FBC TV. FBC TV Operations Manager Vinal Raj says the visit was a significant one for the company.
We're very privileged to have the Prime Minister visit us today. I think we understand that Solomon Islands will be basically putting together their TV stations and radio station as well. So the purpose of the visit was to basically look at our setup.
Sogavare is in the country attending the 3rd Pacific Islands Development Forum meeting. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, millions of dollars needed to upgrade rural and maritime schools' infrastructure.
Oya wa tisoni dalai. Bunga ya muzdomi. Nama kikirau mena tolu kena bitu. Ena via kabi moliti kena porombuka. Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM namba 2 ena sere.
Drug traffickers beware. Chief of Investigations and Intelligence ACP Henry Brown says the capabilities of the police are even better at tracking would-be drug traffickers because of better coordination and cooperation. Maggie Boyle reports.
packets of cocaine allegedly found stuffed in the tires of quad bikes to a recent drug haul of $100 million worth of methamphetamines. These cases could be the tip of a global drug racket finding temporary home at our ports. According to Police Chief of Intelligence, ACP Henry Brown, the international trade is a constant challenge.
A lot of investigating organized criminal syndicate in drug trafficking, it never ends. It's always ongoing because it's a layer that we take out. We have arrested and charged few people on that, but we are continuing our investigations.
However, with the recent significant drug busts, authorities have stepped up their capture game.
I think we got better in terms of our capabilities at the border. The way we have started cooperation with border agencies, our cooperation with our foreign law enforcement agencies, we have just got better in our coordination and cooperation in exchange of information.
Drug hauls over the last few months have seen a number of Fijians and foreign nationals charged and remanded in custody, awaiting trial. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy is surprised at the condition of schools in Kandavu. The minister visited the island recently and was not impressed with what he saw. Eleanor Tarangaivu with this report.
This is the state of most schools in Kandavu. Some of them have been like this for years.
I must say that I'm totally taken aback by the difference in the quality of infrastructure between schools here in the island and the other islands I've been to vis-a-vis the schools in urban areas. And we are determined in the ministry to ensure that this gap is eliminated.
During his visit to schools on the island, Dr. Mahendra Reddy spoke with the different school management committees who relayed the difficulties they face and the assistance they need.
We are currently using the remains of an old home. We just touched up on it so we can keep our books which have been given to our students by the Nasengai villagers living overseas. We need a new library.
The main thing we are requesting for is a hostel for the boys, as the current hostel is really old and it's small.
So how much you need money for this? We need about 40,000. 40? Okay, we'll give you 100,000. Okay.
During the tour, Dr. Reddy allocated a little over $270,000 to 9 schools on the island for upgrade works.
Immediately, within a month's time, funds will be dispersed, and we want them to fix those by December.
Dr. Reddy says the ministry is determined to ensuring that the difference in the quality of infrastructure between schools in the urban and rural areas is eliminated.
I did some number crunching based on the information I have about the status of infrastructure status of schools around PG. We will need around 24.5 million.
Schools infrastructure upgrade in the rural and interior should be completed within the next 3 to 4 years. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
For the first time ever, Fiji now has an allergy testing machine. Sicknesses like sinus and asthma can be cured if tested using this new machine. It will be able to identify the allergen which is causing the sickness. Allergy testing is currently not being done in the country. Samples are sent overseas for testing. Tourism and Trade Minister Fayaz Koya launched the new machine in Suva last night.
This instrument is designed to deliver accurate and reproducible test results, which increases operational efficiency and shortens the lead time. I have been reliably informed, ladies and gentlemen, that there's no other country in the Pacific region that has this allergy and autoimmune disorder machine.
The allergy testing machine was brought in by VanMed, a laboratory company based in Suva at a cost of $85,000. Agribusiness exporters in the Central and Northern Division gathered in Suva today to discuss ways to increase exports and move their businesses forward. The one-day exporters symposium is being used to build relationships. Akosita Tale has more.
Some serious issues have been raised by importers of Fiji's fresh agricultural produce in New Zealand, Australia, US and other countries. The Exporters Symposium hopes to address these issues in order to boost Fiji's export of local fresh root crops, fruits and vegetables.
Some of the more salient issues that importers highlighted are things that are of prime importance to consumers. like quality, standards, branding, packaging, and the importance of grading and fruit sizes, which cannot be compromised.
The Pacific Islands Private Sector Organization will be assisting the Fiji Ministry of Agriculture to collect the information received from businesses and submit a report on the outcomes to government.
If you remove the constraint to increase the capacity, obviously an increase in capacity would lead, to an overall increase in, export level or production level.
Exporters hope the meeting is held frequently to improve communication between all stakeholders.
We are here, we can encourage government to get involved and tell all the companies, all the exporters to come and learn what is the papers, what is the standard to supply throughout the world, so that we don't lose this market and we create more opportunities and we grow more bigger market.
We have, constraints in running the business. And we cannot handle it alone. We need to talk to one another, especially other exporters, other stakeholders.
The Exporter Symposium was attended by stakeholders of the agribusiness supply chain, government and its policymakers, the packaging sector, banking sector and other service providers. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
We turn to sports now, and here's Jamie with the preview of what's coming up.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening in sports after the break. An update from the Flying Fijians, who are drawing attention in England. And Fiji FA President Rajesh Patel sets the record straight on rumoured resignation. Stay with us for more.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
The Vodafone Flying Fijians have spent only one day in England and have already started to attract attention ahead of the World Cup in 2 weeks. But Coach John McKee is determined to ensure his players are not blindsided by the distraction, but remain focused on causing some major upsets in the pool stages. Charlie Ndawakaka has more.
The Flying Fijians stepped off the plane at Heathrow Airport, fatigued from a long journey across the Pacific Ocean. But it's back to business today as the team undergoes its first training session on English soil at Farnborough, Fiji's team base, ahead of the warm-up match against Canada next week.
Today was a good day. The boys bounced back from the travel pretty when we had a pool recovery session this morning to get over our travel, and then some team meetings discussing our planning and our game plan for this week against Canada, and looking forward to the Rugby World Cup.
The team expects fans to turn up in numbers in the first open training session tomorrow.
We're hoping for a good crowd and really generate a bit of atmosphere there at training and help the boys get ready for the big atmosphere of the upcoming World Cup.
McKee is of the view that the attention and hype surrounding the players will be both an asset and a liability in terms of preparation, but this will not take away the team's determination to put in 100% effort when the World Cup kicks off on the 19th of this month. Silent Otakataka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, in an announcement this afternoon, Vodafone Fiji has given an additional $100,000 to the Flying Fijians for World Cup preparations and expenses. The inclusion of France-based player Petele Yato in the Flying Fijian squad for the World Cup is not a surprise for the Ngātaunga Rugby Union. President Tiko Matualu says his perseverance has been overwhelming and an inspiration to the current Ngātaunga squad. Yato was with the Stallions development squad for 3 years before he joined the Clermont Academy in 2012.
He attended trials for under 20 for Fiji team, and he tried twice, but he was not selected. And he was identified by our Clermont partners to be able to join the academy. So he's been there for 2 years, and now he's in the Flying Fijians, making his way, forcing his way to the World Cup.
Yato is also the youngest member of the national squad. It is likely that the remaining matches of the HFC Fairbrother Challenge will not be held at Lawanga Park. This is due to ongoing renovation works at the site. Josephine Navula explains.
Another stage of construction works at the main sporting venue in Sigatoka is yet to be undertaken. After hosting the opening match of the Fairbrother Challenge, Lawanga Park is likely to close down for upgrading.
This contract is going right till December, so we are not really sure about the rest of the Fairbrother matches, given the risks involved with removing the roof, and we are just hoping for the best there.
Following the renovation, the new and upgraded venue will cater for a variety of sports.
For the sports here in Sigatoka, in Nandronga and Nabosa, there will definitely be a growth in volleyball, in netball, especially with the provision of these hard courts, and especially with five-a-side soccer. So,
the upgrading work is expected to be completed at the end of this year and open to the public next year. The second round of the HFC Fairbrother Challenge between Nandronga and Vatukoula will now be held at Prince Charles Park in Nandi at 3 p.m. Josephine Novula, FBC Sports.
Fiji Football Association President Rajesh Patel has no intention of resigning from his post anytime soon. Rohit Deo caught up with Patel today after recent reports suggested he may be stepping down.
I'm not resigning. I will be standing back again as the president of FIGFA.
He is not going anywhere as yet. FIGFA President Rajesh Patel denies recent reports on social media, saying he is leaving his post soon.
The social media can say what they want. If you believe in social media, you won't be making progress. The government of the day is doing the same thing too. In social media, people have got their own views.
Patel will contest the presidency elections in October, and he is confident, saying with achievements during his term, he will reclaim the post.
The board has got every confidence in me, and for the first time in 76-year history, we have been to 2 world events. We've been to one already with the World Cup Under 20, and we're going to the Under 23 World Olympics in Rio. And it is in my first 4-year term. And so previous presidents had been given longer terms and everything, but they didn't prove any results.
The FIGFA elections will take place during the Inter-District Championships in Aba in October. Along with the president's post, 3 vice presidents will also be elected. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the position for Fiji football's national head coach is up for grabs. Current coach Carlos Buzzetti's term expires at the end of November this year, and the position has been advertised. Association President Rajesh Patel has commended Buzzetti's work so far with Fiji.
He has done the job where we felt that we needed to go, but the board has got other thinking and everything, so as such, the term of his contract is coming end to end in November, like I said. And we have to advertise, and it's part of the rules and regulations of the government too, and the immigration policies and everything, and we have to advertise for a new head coaching position.
The highlight of Carlos Buzzetti's career in Fiji was coaching the Under-23 side at the Pacific Games this year, where they qualified for the Rio Olympics. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
BSP will cut over to a new core banking system over the weekend, beginning from tomorrow until Monday. The $16 million project to transform the bank's core banking system began 2 years ago. Bank country manager Kevin McCarthy says the new system will further help BSP realize its vision to be Fiji's leading financial services provider, helping customers, staff, shareholders and communities prosper.
A new system will offer us a new degree of flexibility and robustness that we can offer to our customers. We'll be able to bring new products to the market far quicker than we have in the past.
The project was implemented in partnership with Tata Consultancy Services, a global leader in IT services, digital and business solutions renowned for their ability to simplify, strengthen and transform businesses. Cloud and showers were experienced over the northern parts of the group. Fine weather was experienced elsewhere. A trough of low pressure lies south of Nauru, Rotuma to Wallace. Another trough of low pressure lies over the Tokelau and extends over to northern Cooks to Tahiti. A maximum of 26 degrees in Suva and 27 in Savu today. Lambasa and Nandi managed to hit 30. Expect cloudy periods with some showers over northern Vanua Levu, Taveuni and nearby smaller islands. Elsewhere fine apart from brief showers. Cloud and showers will gradually spread over the group tomorrow. Occasional showers are expected over most places on Saturday. The main points again. Pacific people must never become climate change refugees, says United Nations Special Envoy on Climate Change. A policy change will see the Education Ministry only giving bus vouchers to students who are not within walking distance to school. And Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare says he is impressed with the setup at Fiji Broadcasting Corporation. Now to our poll segment. This week we're asking, can the Flying Fijians reach the quarterfinals at the Rugby World Cup? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube, FBC TV 2011. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Bye for now.